Hi folks, I'm Josh and I'm one of the staff members for the University City Public Library, and this is the first in a series of videos that we are going to have for our youth patrons that will be a series of activities for exploring scientific methods and fun science activities. And our first activity is going to be one that primarily focuses on the method of observation. Since observation will play a key role in all of our activities moving forward, it's kind of critical to have it set in our heads as the thing that we are most keyed in on. Before we move forward, it would be important to note that you always need your parents' or guardians' permission to engage in any of these activities. These activities are best done with your parents or guardians. And also, for guardians, these activities should be designed to be done with things around the house or that are readily available and shouldn't really require a sudden expenditure of money to buy stuff. It should all be around your average house. And it's just an activity for fun. So our first activity is called alphabet observation. In alphabet observation, what we're going to do is we're going to create a journal. And this journal is going to help us keep track of our observations and thoughts. Observations aren't just what we see, they're also the things that engage our other senses and help us notice patterns as they emerge. Things that involve smell, touch, sight, and hearing are all part of observations in science. And so this journal kind of helps us figure out what we're doing and keep a good record of what's happened. Because if we have a good record of what we've done and what we've seen and what we've heard, these observations form the basis of any future endeavors. So, for this exercise, all you need is a writing utensil and a piece of paper. And anything else you want to add on to that, whether drawing with colored pencils, crayons, markers, or taking photos with a cell phone camera, which is what I did, that's just extra wonderful. It's not necessary. You can easily do this with just scrap pieces of paper and a number 2 pencil. So how do we do this activity? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to create a journal through marking down the alphabet. So A, B, C, D, so on and so forth. And we want to leave enough space on each page for us to write an observation. So once we have that set up, then we go outside with our parents on a walk or look at things around our house. And for each letter, we're going to try and fill in an object and some observations about that object. So I have my example here. Maybe a little bit hard to see, but my examples are hostas and the Great North American Moo Bear. That's my dog. So I was using words so that you can actually see this on a camera, because I had a lot of trouble with writing showing up, and my cell phone camera to take pictures and editing them together. Again, you can do this with a number 2 pencil or a pen or any writing utensil and a piece of paper. And so I found my H. I found hostas. They're a little plant that grows outside my apartment. And so I wrote a couple things about it. I know it's a plant. I felt the leaves, they're slightly rough. I noticed that they're all different shapes from each other, that the leaves are curved, that there are different tones of green on each leaf. And for my dog, he's brown. His eyes and muzzle are black. He has brown eyes. He's got softish fur. He drools a lot, and he likes to snore. And so you would do this for every letter in the alphabet. So A, B, C, so on and so forth. the important part of this exercise is just to put together what you're noticing about these things. And do this over the course of the week. Do this over some time. Take some time to think about everything as you do it. Obviously, I touch these objects, and that's because I know they're safe to touch. They're my objects. This is fine. If you're doing this on a walk with your parents, make sure you always get your parents' permission or guardian's permission before you touch anything, before you smell anything, and really don't taste objects in this observation exercise. It's generally not advised. But yeah, always get parental or guardian permission before you touch anything, smell anything, feel anything that isn't yours, that is owned by you, and that you don't know whether or not it's safe. So once you're done with this activity, what you want to do is you want to look at, well, what letters were hard to find? I know for me, I couldn't find any X's or any Z's. They just weren't things that I found. Did you like to record plants? Did you like to record animals? Did you like to record the cars that go by your street? Are those fascinating to you? And by focusing on these observations, we can kind of refine what we want to look for and what we are gravitating towards in our scientific inquiries. Because science has a lot of different fields and a lot of different disciplines that we can look into and explore. Maybe you're not interested in plants, but you really like the mechanical aspects of cars. And that's great. It's just a different type of science, and that's wonderful, and you should explore whatever makes you happy and content and engages your scientific parts of your mind. I would also say for those that aren't scientifically driven, observation is also really good for the arts. It helps us kind of determine the way things look and feel and appear if, say, we're doing drawing or sculpture, or if we're a writer. Observations will help us bring life to the things we write. So with that, I hope you all enjoy this activity. Again, this will be a series of activities that explore fun, short, science-based activities for students and patrons of our youth department. Especially in our current climate, all of these will be things that you can do at home that will require a minimum outing or a minimum amount of effort on the parents' part to find the objects that are needed for these experiments. And we're really just trying to encourage people, youth patrons, to really work towards being scientifically excited. Thank you again. I'm Josh. I'm with the University City Public Library, and we're all wishing you well and safe in these times. Bye.